Hello and good morning and welcome to Unholy Moles crazy police news. I got Staggers and Jags and the Unbeliever with me, and we're going to look at some crazy news stories and just to have a little chitter chat about them. I thought I'd do something different for once, so I guess the first thing to do would be to look at some weird news. All right, I'm looking in Newser. Let's see. Let's find a. Well, first of all, I would like to screen share application window. I think that would work. Nope, that isn't it.
We were just talking about being our own producers and our own tech guys and our own talent and our own sound man and everything.
Could be a little better, but it is what it is. So
actually, probably the hardest part of all that is being your own talent.
Yeah,
I for sure have some great ideas for some very funny or very interesting short films. But the only problem is the main actor is gonna suck because it's me.
Yeah, and I get director mentality, and then I get talent mentality. And my talent mentality is I just want to have fun. I'm happy. I'm good. I'm charismatic, and I want to express myself. And my director mentality is these lights aren't in the right fucking place, and you're doing everything wrong. And it kind of bums me out then when I get in front of the camera, I've already chewed myself out. And I'm just like.
And then you get your producer mentality that locks the door behind you when he enters the room and asks you to just watch you jack off.
Yeah, exactly.
I channel Harvey Weinstein when I produce my content. I don't know who you guys channel.
I just jack off a lot.
I just jack off a lot. I channel Harvey Weinstein and Quentin Tarantino. So you're gonna leave with at least one sexual assault charge and one hate crime charge on me.
Mm-hmm. And a foot fetish if you didn't already have one.
And a very strange foot fetish.
All right.
You ready yet, or should we keep talking about foot fetishes?
You can talk about whatever. I'm trying to figure out how to show this thing, but it won't show. So, but anyway,
Switch. Wait, no, just you're at the right thing. You're at the right tabs. Go to where it says Florida Man Hook 60 at the top tab right there.
Yeah, you just gotta show the right tab.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So go to screen share.
Yeah, you could screen share and then just click any other tab and it'll switch.
I found the most expensive concentrates in all the West in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They were charging like $70 for a half a G of concentrates.
Wow.
I asked him, I was like, why has anybody ever asked you why your prices are so high?
And they were like, because we fucking hate consumers.
They're like, yeah, we just go quality over quantity. I'm like,
oh shit. Oh my, that's gotta be the biggest like bullshit line. You can get like 95% THC fucking white crumble.
I've had 98% shatter. Yeah, I mean, this shit's 70% that they're trying to sell me. I mean, that's fine. I'm not complaining about the potency. 70 is fine. That's plenty.
The price is dumb though.
The price is fucking insane. I'm like, this is 4 times what I pay in Colorado. Are you?
Do they have like flavored terpenes in it? Was that what the gimmick of it was? You don't even know.
Like, I'll take an 8th of fucking that Alabama right there.
Yeah, for real. How much for you to do a dab and then just spit and I'll drink up the spit? Is that like $20?
Yeah. But just give me an 8th of weed. And she's like, no concentrates today? I'm like, not today.
What do you bring me, brother? Money? Go watch Paw Patrol.
Okay, let's see if I can. Okay, let's try this one more time.
I listened to your podcast that you were on with Lores when you guys were talking about Eyes Wide Shut.
Mhm.
I listened to that while I was working down in Phoenix.
Oh yeah, did
That
you
was a good-
enjoy it?
That was a good conversation. Yeah, I really did. It made me start thinking about the movie again, which I hadn't seen in a long time. And I was really young when I saw it, so I didn't really get it. Like, I didn't fucking get it at all. At the end of it, I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
What even?
All right. Well, the first article I see, it's a Florida article. Everything in Florida always seems to be weird as shit. But a man tries to purchase a hot dog with cannabis.
I love this article, by the way.
Okay.
This
Hold
dude
on.
looks rough as hell, but
He does.
I'm with it.
On
Is this on
Wait,
December,
I want to know. My question is why is that a headline? That should have just worked. I buy hot dogs with cannabis all the time.
It seems fucked up that he had to go to jail for it. Like what? I mean,
he must ask the wrong worker, because some teenager would have been like, "Hey man, will you hook me up with a hot dog? I'll give you a bud." They'd have been like, "All right,"
It says he
I
tried.
remember.
But dude,
tried
that
to
gave that
trade-
dude like a dub.
Yeah,
for real.
yeah.
He tried
So
to trade a
December-
napkin full of cannabis.
On December 9th, 2018, Summerfield resident Danny DeJesus was arrested at Circle K after he tried to trade a napkin full of cannabis. So a
See,
napkin
that's his
full, I mean,
mistake. He should have brought a bag. You should have brought a bag. Be a professional.
Yeah, you're robot.
That's what I'm saying. You don't bring $50,000 in a bag. You bring it in a briefcase. You know what I'm saying? He should have brought it in a bag. Napkin.
Right.
Look at it. See what I'm
kind of
saying?
hot
Weed.
dog
I'm not
is
going to
that?
devalue what I'm trying to trade for a hot dog by putting it in a fucking napkin.
How much weed is a hot dog worth?
you should get a whole shitload of hot dogs for some weed. I mean,
I would say that is a hard. That's like that. It's a Bailey moat thing, because it depends on how sober the guy selling the hot dog is and how hungry the guy with the weed is.
Yeah, you're right. It's a pure capitalism situation. It's a arbitrarily defined value at the moment of trade.
Well, I would say, like, okay, I worked at a pizza place for a while, right? Unnamed, a faceless, nameless pizza place somewhere in
Pizza Hut, right?
Florida.
Gotcha.
somewhere in the state I live in. And I often took trades of stuff like that to people that worked in the little strip mall that I was in. The dude that ran the pipe shop would be like, "Hey, I'll give you a pack of cigarettes for a small pizza," but that's because a small pizza was $10 and a pack of cigarettes is $6. And we just thought it was a fair trade in that way.
Yeah.
Now, were you paying for the pizza, or was that going out the back door?
No, the pizza was going out the back door. It was a trade. I'll just make this small pizza and then pop it out the thing. No big deal.
So it's
But the-
Right. Yeah. No. And
you're
that's what
stealing
I'm
the pizza anyway.
saying. Is like I think that guy devalued.
I think you might need to refresh, Sleek. Your
Yes,
robot.
yeah,
is pretty
your
bad.
robot is pretty bad. But it says okay.
And wasted. Call it waste.
The Jesus offered substance.
I'm just gonna
So
mark that at the end of the night and say small pizza got ruined.
Wait, what?
Okay, I'll move.
Can you just refresh your page?
It says the Jesus
Yeah,
offered the
five.
substance to an employee in exchange for the snack, and then the employee took the illicit plant and called 911. What the fuck? An employee at a Circle K gets offered weed, and they're like, "Yo, I'm gonna take this, bud, but also I'm hitting up the 50 right now." The fuck is wrong with this Circle K employee?
I think that he was a stoner. is what was
Boycott
wrong.
Circle K.
So here's what happened.
This
He's in
whole
public-
article
he's
is fucked.
he thinks he's been set up. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get busted. This is a setup. This is a cop. I can't smoke this weed. I've got to fucking I'm gonna get fired. I'm gonna get arrested."
So
They're a foot at the Circle K.
Sleek,
Sleek.
we can't hear you at all, man. You're roboting
re-
bad. Just refresh one time.
I'm leaving. I'm not leaving the chat. I'm leaving this area so I can get a better signal.
Okay, but
Hold
also
on.
refresh your page. That'll help too. Just hit F5.
How do I do that with a phone? How do I do that with a phone?
Oh, I don't know. Exit out and back in. I thought you had like a badass water cooled.
It's gotta come. It's gotta come in the post. And
Oh,
even if he ordered it Friday, I wouldn't be there in time.
I thought he got it already.
Ah.
He's gonna start doing all my production for me with his badass machine, huh?
If you have a share file system and you can share like a couple of gigs without taking an hour long to transfer it, that probably isn't a bad idea to pay someone to edit like that.
Yeah.
Right.
If like the right opinion, I don't think that guy can edit for shit, but he
What?
Okay. Yeah.
sorry,
No worries.
I had a coughing attack. I didn't want anybody to see it. I don't remember.
PewDiePie's
He-
editor does a lot of work. If you watch, I was watching one of PewDiePie's videos, and he speaks into a camera a microphone like this. He uses a condenser mic on a stand, and sometimes he's way back here, and sometimes he's way up here. And Google Hangouts normalizes the audio really well, but not when you're just recording a video, it doesn't. But you notice how tight his sound levels are. They're all really high. So his editor is going through his audio section by section in my mind and normalizing it piece by piece to get the quieter ones louder and the louder ones quieter.
Incorrect. He mixes his audio and then he uses a filter and several limiters and compressors, and he masters the entire track with those limiters and compressors most likely, and that way he doesn't.
That levels everything out to a normal.
Exactly.
Just-
yeah.
You're gonna have to show me how to do that because I have that problem.
I'll send you a link. I have a video for it.
Does the screen share look better
No,
now?
I didn't make the video, but I have a video that I've watched on how to do it that I'll send you that I thought was useful.
Cool.
I don't
what
want
I've
people
been
going to
doing
my
as of
channel like Sleek's doing how to master audio classes now.
What I've been doing as of recent is amplifying everything so that every bit of the sound levels peaks, normalizing it, and then hitting it with a limiter and then equalizing it from there. And that gets me like fairly consistent audio levels. My problem is that once I compress it, whatever my compression settings are, I have to like refigure or my equalization settings are, because once I compress it, everything gets like extra bassy, really like tonal and strange. And it gets like this ASMR property to it where you can start hearing all my big lip smacks.
That's what you want. That's what mastering's all about. You want the best audio. You want to cut out all the background shit and anything that's coming out of your mouth. That's what you want.
All right, so what do we got here? An intoxicated man started a fire while making cookies in the nude on a George Foreman.
Wait. I want to go back to the napkin story, though. I missed the end of the napkin story. I had something to say about that. Number one, I think that guy with the weed probably had shitty weed because he was keeping it in a napkin. Number two, obviously the Circle K worker was a square, which lets me know that there are strange things afoot at that Circle K. Because what kind of Circle K hires a non-stoner to work at their fucking register? That's just bullshit.
It's I think Staggerson's right when he says that this dude's just like paranoid, thinks he's getting fucking set up. Is that there's, like you're saying, a Circle K employee has no reason to turn down some weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever turned down a napkin for the weed?
I mean, even an
let's not
undercover
sit around
cop.
here and pretend we've never got our weed in a napkin before.
No, it's
I've
not like
done weed napkins before, so.
Oh,
it's
I
not
am
that
in no
weird.
way. I am in no way saying I've never gotten a weed napkin before. All I'm saying is that a weed napkin devalues your weed. As soon as you see weed coming out of a napkin, you're like, probably not that great. He keeps it in a
What I usually
napkin.
think is this guy had a bunch of fucking weed and he just grabbed a handful of it and threw it in a napkin. I'm about to come up on this deal. I'll give him 2 hot dogs.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it
I'd
depends.
give him
Without being
a
present for
whole
the
pack of Oscar Myers, dude. For real.
Yeah. Like,
I'd buy him.
I really think without being at the actual transaction and seeing how things went down, it's difficult to say. But there are a number of choke points in that story that would scare me off of trading a hot dog for weed too. Because if you bring me some shitty swag that I'm not even going to smoke, I'm not giving you a fucking hot dog for it. You got to
That's
at
true.
least bring me something I'm going to smoke.
And that dude looks
True that.
rough. The dude looks pretty rough too. If he didn't look so rough and came through with, you know, some actual dank, I think I'd be in on it. But dude is a little beat up, a little scuffed.
Right. It's kind of like that thing we were talking about earlier. It's a pure capitalism situation. It's like, you know, if this guy was providing the better product, then maybe the guy would have gave him a hot dog. If the guy wasn't a little bit paranoid, maybe he wouldn't have thought he was getting busted by his manager. You know.
Now, in my experience, it's not always this way. I will admit that I have gotten a weed napkin from a weed head before, but generally, the people who are out on the streets distributing napkins full of weed are people who don't want their weed. They're tweakers and crackheads and shit that have this weed,
Right.
and they're gonna go trade it for a fucking hot dog. I mean, look at this guy.
Yeah, this dude is.
Yeah, let me see the guy because I didn't see the guy. I'm putting myself in the shoes of I used to work at Jack in the Box. If this guy rolled through my fucking register, would I give him a hot dog for whatever weed he was trying to pass me off just based on how he looks without seeing the weed? Because I mean that would be a big factor, but no, not at all. No, that guy's gonna eat my face off. That guy does bath salts.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Florida guy too, so I
Dude,
put,
Florida
I'm pretty sure I
man.
put if you look
You gotta
in
watch
the
out for
side
Florida,
chat,
man.
if you look in the side chat, the link to the pages I'm looking at's in there, so you.
He's on his
It
phone.
looks like I mean,
Yeah, why do you guys keep making me do things that require me to not be on my phone?
Yeah, I forgot about that. He looks like he just looks like a normal dude. That I mean, he looks a little rough. He don't look like he hasn't shaved in a couple weeks, and looks like he got hit on the head with a hammer. You see that like circular?
Yeah,
like a baton
that crescent
something.
moon, scab on his forehead on the right hand side, where it looks like he got dinged by a carpentry hammer. Yeah, I see that.
Like a hammer or a baton or something round, perfectly round.
A doorknob. You just walked into a door because he's a retard.
Story, though, the next story, the funniest,
hold on
the funniest one I've seen so far.
It says he tried to
Intoxicated.
Sorry, go ahead. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, he tried to trade because the worker called 911, so it didn't succeed.
But he did take the stuff.
He took the hot dog?
It was actually the worker stole the weed from him and then called the cops because he said, "I'll give you some weed if you give me a hot dog." Dude's like, "Sure," and then just takes the weed, doesn't give him the hot dog, and then calls the cops.
And then calls the cops like a little snitch. What a fucking asshole!
For real, that's what I'm saying. Boycott Circle K.
Boycott that Circle K for sure.
No problem. But I mean, what did he do? What did the cashier say? Sure, I'll do that. Take the weed, and then didn't give him a hot dog, and called the cops and said, "Hey, this guy just tried to trade me weed for a hot dog."
He had to.
Now, if the cops
that's
showed
fraud.
up,
that's fraud. Circle K is a fraudulent organization.
Yeah, I mean, if the cashier was in possession of the marijuana, it's just his word against his. He could. The guy could be like, "I didn't do that," So I don't see how that would have worked, really.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's why I think the guy had to be tweaked out. It's the only reason you'd start out on an ill-fated plan like that.
Yeah, that whole plan must have been sketched to start with, because if you were in your right mind and you were going to try to get a hot dog from a fast food employee, you would not do it at the counter. you would wait until one of those motherfuckers went on their 10 or their half and been like, yo, peep game, homie. I got fucking a gram of this fire-ass dank, and I'm trying to get lunch right now. This is $20 worth of weed. You want to hook me up with a cheeseburger or a hot dog in this case? And then they would go like, oh, yeah, for sure, as long as you didn't hand it to them in a napkin. You know what I mean? Like,
or you like call up your buddy, right? And you go, hey, man, do you have any food?
Right. Yes.
Well, I'm saying in this scenario, I don't know random fast food worker. I'm just hungry and I got weed. For some reason, I spent my money on weed and not food, even though I'm hungry.
He could have called a buddy and be like, hey, man, will you buy a Nickelback so I can go get some lunch or something, you know?
I mean, if I know my friends, that's no longer me making a trade with a random fast food employee. That's me doing business as usual.
Maybe that was just too easy, I suppose. I don't know. The next story, though, is...
Hold on, I gotta say this. I gotta say this. Have you guys ever seen this gymnast, Caitlin Ohashi?
Nah.
Guys. She is the thick queen.
No.
Thick queen?
She is the thick queen.
She's a gymnast, though. Gymnasts aren't usually thick.
My dude, she is the thick queen.
But she's a gymnast.
Yes, and I think we should respect her. I think we should respect how thick she is.
You have my utmost attention. I was in for baking cookies on the George Foreman grill, but thick gymnast also has my interest.
I just wanted
nothing
to bring
against
up...
Mole's story. They're both very interesting stories, and I am totally interested in hearing either and or both story.
I just wanted to bring up that sorry. I just wanted to bring up that I found this incredibly thick gymnast. But I don't know. Here's the problem with gymnasts.
No titties.
No. Is that they're short and you can't always tell. Like, I took a second before I brought that up to make sure she was old enough for me to be like, oh my God. Because for a moment I was worried that maybe these clips were illegal on the internet. But they're...
Yeah, you don't want to turn yourself into Jared just because you like looking at gymnasts.
Right. But dear God.
And you got to be careful too, because like 14-year-old girls look like they're like 20-year-olds now, dude. It's fucking pretty scary.
Well, and
George Foreman grill cookies.
Yeah, George Foreman grill cookies.
Check out this story. A painted man.
Jesus, link me that gymnast later, though.
I got
While making cookies nude on a George Foreman grill.
Yeah, the nude is what got me.
Yeah. Officers in Niceville responded to a call concerning a house fire during last week of August 2018. When they around 5 local time, a naked man opened the door and told the officers, "I'm sorry," and closed the doors. The nude man then opened the door again, leaving it ajar as he retreated back into his home. The man didn't seem to neither care or potential danger he was in. A police officer removed the man from his home, and firefighters told Northwest Florida Daily News that if he'd remained in the house, he could have died from smoke inhalation or worse. How did the man confess to drinking 2 liters of vodka and smoking cannabis starting around 9 a.m.?
That explains why he didn't care or understand the potential danger he was in.
Love this guy.
Right.
2 liters of vodka will do that to you.
And trying to make cookies on a fucking George Foreman grill. Authorities examined the fire-damaged house, and after the investigation, some questioning, they discovered a bizarre start to the fire. Allegedly, the man decided to bake some cookies. Instead of using the oven, however, he opted to use the George Foreman grill. He left the grill on and caught fire. After to smother the flames, he placed dry towels on the George Foreman. The towels caught fire, and the flames started to spread.
There you go. Because I was wondering, just putting cookie dough on a George Foreman.
Come on in. I was just making cookies.
Putting cookie dough on a George Foreman shouldn't start a fire like that. It's gotta be the towels. And fucking sure enough.
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
Or they maybe they were molding or something.
I mean,
Or
those-
maybe it was the vodka. Maybe some vodka got on the George Foreman grill. Who knows?
I want to think that those are the cookies he made.
I do too. I really do.
I'd like to imagine that.
The
Oh.
police took that picture.
Yeah.
Nah, it's just some photo from Flickr. We could find it.
Yeah, that's just a bad batch of cookies that somebody took a picture of. For
Man, poor. I'm sorry, Christy, but living in Florida must be absurd. A candidate representatives in Florida believes aliens abducted her.
This is actually fairly common.
but
There's a bunch of
most people
politicians.
don't go around telling about it.
Right. They might not say
Wait,
it, but there's a bunch.
so
of
you don't believe in
politicians that-
aliens, Mole?
I
This
didn't
is
say I
such
didn't
a
believe in aliens.
this is such a
Then why couldn't that lady be abducted?
This
She
is
could have been
just a lie.
abducted.
She's just trying to connect to her base of
Hold on.
voters.
But believing in aliens and believing somebody was abducted by aliens are two different things, right? I
Yeah.
believe that fish exist. I don't believe that a dude lived in a fish.
Exactly. Like just because I mean, for instance, I would do this
Pinocchio
way.
did it.
We're alive and we're capable of space travel, but we're not capable of going to another solar system. So I mean, think about how advanced they would have to be, and why would you choose? Why would you choose the Earth of all places if you had the capability to travel from solar system?
Oh, I got
to
an answer
solar
for that.
system
Why
galaxy?
would we choose? Why would you choose the Earth? Because it's mostly harmless.
Yeah,
I mean,
I guarantee-
depending on a number of things, though, your biology could mean that this planet's ecosystem is entirely harmful.
I just wasted
Right.
a HTTG reference and nobody got it.
A what?
so
HGTV.
No,
yeah, but
Hitchhiker's
she
Guide
was
to the
abducted at
Galaxy.
7 years old. Oh, Hitchhiker's 42.
No, I said Earth is mostly harmless.
Security officer for uploading his farts to Instagram.
This dude looks like
And
Mr.
the
Beast.
security guard's name, his security guard name was Paul Flart.
That's actually great.
Verified.
That's creative. I like it. I'm on board so far.
He's
Why is he in
verified.
trouble for? We watch people
he
rate
was-
their poo all the
he's
time.
nobody.
Why is this controversial?
Paul Flart, you
Well,
need
I
your job back.
believe it because he was. I think it's because he was doing it on duty and recording it, like while he was working.
Duty.
Like it says
Duty.
something about something about the mall where he worked made it sound awesome. So he recorded in numerous ones, like
He's
hundreds
like
of
out in the
farts.
main area, like
Here. I've pulled up.
the echo in the food court.
I've pulled up the Paul Flart Instagram.
Yeah,
Hold
Flart
on.
live streamed. his
So he
fire
didn't take down his
Instagram.
Insta. He just got fired for doing
He
it.
got fired. Well, he's like
Yeah.
he's verified with 100K followers. This is actually probably lucrative for him. Plus, he
Yeah.
streams
Probably-
on Twitch.
Yeah,
Paul
he'll
Flart
win some.
looks like-
He'll get a Paul. He looks like Paul Blart. Or
No, he looks like Ken
was the guy's
Bone.
name on the- Ken Bone.
Yeah, Paul
Yeah.
Blart.
Kinda.
That's the
Yeah.
joke. Paul Flart.
Right, I get that.
So
but
he
he
and
does
it
look
says
like
he
him,
wasn't. He wasn't fired for the fart videos exactly. The issue was he uploaded content on a client's property while wearing his official uniform. So he got
Oh,
fired
yeah.
because he did it in his official capacity.
Yeah, if you
I'm
look
sorry that
here, he's got a bunch right here with his like regular uniform on with the gold badge, and then after a while he covers up the badge with a different badge that says flatulent security.
nice.
These are great.
Yeah, you can't upload shit to the internet.
Holy
Work outfit.
shit! Hold on. I gotta figure out how to
Only in
share
Florida.
audio with you guys because this is fucking amazing. This dude's farts are fucking amazing.
Like music?
No, I mean they're here. Hold on.
Like, is it a single note?
Is this
Are whole
feedback?
chords coming out of his rectum?
Hold on.
Dang.
That was a good one. That was pretty fucking good.
That sounded more like a shart than a fart, to be honest with you.
Let's get another one. They're great.
Oh God!
Every one of these farts are great. I'm following this man right now.
You know that motherfucker lived on mall burritos and fucking soda with farts like that, for sure. I mean, I'm not a skinny guy by any means, but by looking at that guy, he did not have what you'd call a healthy diet.
The sound of that, it's like a what do you call it? Like a psychosomatic thing. Like just hearing that, I can smell that fart. I'm like, I know that motherfucker had to smell bad, like real bad. Like listen to the bass and the reverb on that motherfucker. That had to be like paint was peeling in that bathroom or whatever fucking dressing room he was in or wherever the fuck he let that bitch go.
He did it in like the foyers. You know how like malls have big lobbies where they're just real open spaces. He did it. He did it because of the acoustics in there. That's why they sound so fabulous. Fabulous farts.
Yeah. The man.
The man's an artist, clearly.
I'm sorry, Christy. I'm not making fun of Florida, but Florida just seems to have. Like, I mean, every state has crazy news articles, but Florida seems to have an overabundance of them for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Florida has the most popular recidivists of all time,
especially Jacksonville.
Yeah,
Florida man's like a staple of American culture at this point. It's not a commentary on the average Florida citizen. It's a commentary on this one guy. The Florida.
Yeah. Why is there such a disproportionate amount of Florida man activity in Florida versus everywhere else in the country?
He just be getting into shit, you know? He just be getting into shit. He's just one of them guys that's just like, I gotta get out and get into shit.
Yeah. Because I mean, if California had that proportion of idiocy happening every day on that level, because we do have our fair share of idiocy happening every day on a level, but it's usually happening in Berkeley and involves a Starbucks or something.
Well, yeah, I was just going to mention that too. If you remember, if you think about it, Florida has a lot of large metropolitan areas. That's why California is the same way. You hear a bunch of crazy shit in California too, because they have a lot of large metropolitan areas. Like most states, if they're lucky, have one big city. Like Illinois has Chicago, New York has like New York City. But Florida has like Tampa and Orlando and Daytona Beach, and I mean they're all
Miami.
They're all large metropolitan. Yeah, Miami. They're all large
Jacksonville
areas. So I think that might be a reasoning behind the overabundance. It seems like.
I could kind of see that because California has like San Diego, L.A., San Francisco, Oakland, Sacramento, San Jose,
Oakland, yeah.
And so we have like a lot of, because of the size of the state, the tracts of land that it occupies up and down the coast, there's a lot of metro areas along all of those ports and shipping lanes or whatever the fuck, and you end up with more people living in those areas, and then you end up with more stupid people living in those areas because it's a concentrated group of people. So yeah, that tracks for me.
And the metro areas in California are huge, right? Like, I mean, like, if you're in Sacramento, I mean, like, the towns are real close to each other, right? Like, Long Beach is right next to...
California stories... But like dumb California stories are like, oh, a bunch of hippies went and protested some shit in Berkeley and they did some dumb shit. And you're like, ah, dumb Californians. And then like when you hear like a Florida man story, it's like Florida man robs bank at Banana Point while wearing Batman costume. I mean, it's just a totally different level of like shit happening in Florida. And it's not a crack against Florida. I just don't understand why only Florida gets that kind of activity.
It's
like everybody has dumb shit, but Florida's dumb shit is unique to Florida. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Like their particular flavor of dumb shit is their own.
Yeah, yeah.
well, and it's become part of the zeitgeist in journalism now to write like Florida man, where in other cases people might write like Sacramento man. You know what I mean? New York guy. Like they might actually name the city. It's kind of part of the zeitgeist to like write Florida man.
I get it. So it's like a catchphrase because everybody's there's a certain contingency of us, obviously the four of us sitting here, who are totally in love with Florida man stories.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wish.
So they're like, we want to let you know this is the story you're looking for, the Florida man story.
I was hoping that Deep Fat Fried
headline
was just a full-on Florida man DFF of just reading Florida man articles. Because
you can be my Florida man BFF, dude. We both live in California.
Oh, DFF, Deep Fat Fried, that show.
Oh. Yeah. I thought you were looking for a best friend to watch Florida man stuff with. And I was like, I'm in, dude. I'm in.
I'm a content man on the internet. I'm looking for literally any friends in real life. I ran into a dude in Walmart yesterday.
I told you to come down here and smoke with me. You're like an hour away. Just drive down, dude. We'll smoke. I'm telling you.
We'll have to
That's
do
not
that.
a joke. Yeah.
No, I'm legit down.
Yeah.
Mary Jane is black now, by the way.
And I'm building my studio, and I'm always, wanting people to come and help collab and stuff too, And most of my friends all are very far away. Stags is in Utah. He's the closest one besides you.
Where is Modesto?
Modesto, just south of Sacramento.
If California had a butthole, if you imagine California as an anthropomorphized human being, and say,
how close to
say like LA is the armpit, and
why is LA the armpit?
This body is in a weird spot. It's upside
down. because the butthole would have to be pretty much dead center. So either LA is the feet or LA is like the armpit.
Oh, we're talking about like geographically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You meant like metaphorically.
Okay.
Both. It's a metaphoric and it's a figurative and literal butthole.
Yeah.
It's dead center of the state, and it's full of just crappy people that are on meth and opioids.
How close to San Francisco are you?
About an hour away. I could be there in like an hour and a half, probably, depending on traffic. That's the nice thing about Modesto. You're an hour and a half or 2 hours away from everything. Like I could be in Santa Cruz, I could be in San Francisco, I could be in Sacramento, I could be in Oakland, San Jose, Monterey, anywhere but LA. Pretty much, I could be in a matter of like 2-3 hours, probably.
Well, here's the thing: is although that distance that we would travel would just be going to a different part in California, for most people, those distances are different states.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You got to remember how long California is. Like, for me to drive to Chicago from where I live, it's like a 2.5 hour drive. And I'm in the middle. I'm right around the middle of the state. Chicago's at the top, and the farthest south.
But when I say it's like an hour drive, I mean like an hour of actual driving. Because in most other states, it's like, like I don't know how to say it. Like in LA, it might be 5 minutes of actual distance to get from here to there, but you might be on that road for an hour just because traffic sucks that bad. California and NorCal
Right.
doesn't have, like, if you're driving for 2 hours, you're covering some land. So you're right. I get what you're saying about that.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
like
yeah,
for my
it's-
my 2.5 hours, I can cover like 190 miles. You guys would never, or what, you or not 190. I'm sorry, but like 150 miles in 2 hours. You guys would never be able to do that, right?
Right. Like
Um,
LA is like 300 miles away. It would take me 5 hours to get there. Just to give you an
Oh,
example.
just because of traffic and shit.
Right.
That's a good speed. I mean, that's
Yeah.
at 60 miles an hour average.
Yeah, yeah. For the most part, until you hit the Grapevine, you're doing the speed limit all the way down there. Then you hit the Grapevine, and then everything turns to shit.
I don't
Right,
know.
Mulatto?
We drive like 80. There's actually spots in Utah where the speed limit is 80. So
Yeah,
it takes 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours to get like 180 miles from where I'm at. It would probably take me 5 hours to get across Utah, and another 5 or 6 to get across Nevada, and then another like not even an hour probably from Nevada to, I don't know where the interstate crosses, but get on I-80.
I made it. I can
Right
make it from Reno. Let's put it this way. I can make it from Reno to my house in a matter of 3 hours, and that is going to a different state. So I could be in Reno, Nevada, gambling. If I left right now, I'd be there I'd be there by, it's 10 now. I'd be there by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Party for most of the afternoon. Leave around 6 or 7, so it's not too late, and be back here by like what 10. So I mean, like, that's Modesto. We could be like a lot of places. They're kind of far drives, but in California, it's all freeway driving.
We could
So
have a
it's
meetup in Nevada.
We could have a meetup in Nevada.
Yeah. It's too bad. Like if any of us were popular enough to do like a live show, Nevada is like a fucking perfect place to do one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bet it would be pretty cool.
Jake did one there.
Jake,
Jake's been getting ripped
Asshole.
apart by people, I've noticed.
Yeah, he has. He's gotten
Jake.
his. Did you
Asshole
notice he
Jake.
finally is? I'm so happy for him that he's finally getting recognition from the skeptic community, because I've been working so hard for people to smash him, real hard. I really been wanting these people
Jake?
to. Jake, the flat Earth asshole.
Jake the asshole, yeah.
Jake, the asshole.
Jake the asshole here.
He's into the transvestigation. He eats raw
Wildfire.
meat.
Everything, dude.
Wildfires are caused by lasers.
Halal-
The Earth,
halal
the
meat.
Earth isn't flat, but it's not round, because he doesn't know what shape it is anymore. I've made it my one-man mission to expose this guy and get skeptics to talk shit about him and disprove anything he says. I've been doing this for about 1.5 years, 2 years now. Staggerson is my witness.
Yeah.
The
Victim.
next two
You said
stories are kind of
victim
funny.
wrong.
They
What?
kind of go together. The first one is the next two stories are oddly similar. The first one is a man had his
Wait,
monkey
pause,
taken away
pause.
after he was arrested. Yeah.
I'm reading this headline with you. A man had his monkey taken
Okay.
away after he was arrested for driving a stolen car. After the monkey was arrested for driving a stolen car?
It's unclear.
Where did
we
the
don't
monkey
know.
could have drove it?
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
one
who
fucking
drove
thing
the
we have
stolen
for
car?
monkey.
This headline is not giving me the information I need.
I don't know why anybody would hate on a monkey that can
Okay.
just steal a car and drive it.
Dude,
That's
have
a-
you ever
that's-
seen Any Which Way But Loose? That monkey was awesome, and he could drive a truck.
Okay, let's get to this story.
The monkey, he was an orangutan. Thank you
Whatever.
very much.
Semantics.
It makes a
Orangutans are
difference.
part of the great ape family.
Phylogeny.
But monkeys aren't apes.
Technically, all apes are monkeys, though. So
Oh,
There.
Yeah.
go.
that's right.
oh, okay. I see. I see what you mean.
My ancestors weren't no monkeys.
If my ancestors was monkeys, how come none
We
of these
still got
wanna fuck
monkeys.
me? Wait, yeah, what you
Hmm.
said, not what I said.
Yeah, if whatever, and then how come no monkeys fuck me? Yeah, I like what Mulatto said.
I like Jake the asshole eating raw meat and raw eggs. Amazing steak tartare recipe.
Oh,
You've just mixed
is
steak.
this?
You've just ground up meat and eggs together. This isn't a recipe, my dude.
Are you just getting introduced to Jake the asshole?
Yeah, I never heard of him. I don't really fuck with flatards much.
Oh my goodness, you're gonna have so much fun. You're really gonna enjoy this. This is a special treat for you. I mean that sincerely.
I like the transvestigation part. That's the best. Oh, wait a minute. No,
Transvestigation.
I
Oh yeah.
do know who Jake the asshole is. Drew
Me too.
Gooden did a video on this dude.
Who did?
I'm pretty sure Drew Gooden did a video on him. If he's the guy that sells the lunar module shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah,
no, 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 no.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
that
yeah,
Ace Bomber
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Ace Bomber
I
guy.
just
That's
watched that video. Yeah.
all right.
And he said he recreated the shirt.
yeah.
And he had the same shirt that Jake made on in the
Yeah.
video.
Yeah.
And he was like ripping on it. He's like, "Why would you put such an unwieldy catchphrase on your shirt?"
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I was dying at that
I'm
video.
pretty sure
Yeah,
the
that's
guy
it.
was driving.
Hey, Mulatto, if you come down here, you have a possibility of meeting Jake in person.
Oh, does he live in your city?
Yeah, he does.
Hell yeah.
He's actually an acquaintance of mine. He's actually an associate, a person that I
He could
knew
introduce-
before he started doing this.
Why don't you join up with him? Start making that YouTube money, dude. He's clearly making a couple bucks.
He's making a couple bucks, but I mean, like, then I gotta like go against everything that I think is like actually cool.
Yeah, that's what being a YouTuber is.
Throw it
Like,
up,
if I
man.
wanted to
Throw
sell
up.
out my morals, I guess I could go become a flat earther. But if I was going to do that, I'd just start a Christian channel and use all of my biblical knowledge to fucking shill to, religious types, and they'll give you tons of money. That's been proven.
There you go.
Mhm.
We doing the news here? What's going on?
Oh yeah, what's the
I'm
news? Tell us.
trying to- Okay, so the next article is a spider monkey attacked a Home Depot employee when it escaped from its owner's car. A Home Depot store employee was attacked by a spider monkey in the store's 7th. The monkey's owner, Tina Ballard, left the monkey in the car while she went inside the store. Despite the fact that the monkey it managed to escape and assault Marilyn Howard. Howard grabbed the leash and the monkey then climbed on her back. She walked the monkey to the front of the store in an attempt to find an owner, but when the automatic doors opened, it became scared and bit Howard on the arm.
I'm coming at you like
So,
a spider monkey.
I mean, like, it's bad enough that, like, there's one monkey story in Florida, but two of them within, like, a week apart. I mean,
Dude,
like,
So the guy.
I don't know. It just blows my mind. that
Florida's
fucking-
awesome. Did you know that Florida has a native monkey population that are almost all infected with herpes?
Nice.
Oh,
Hell
Yeah,
awesome.
they're not native. Native is not the right word. Transplanted. That's the word I'm looking for. Someone
now-
brought some monkeys to Florida and let them
Actually, one
go,
of the
and now
worst
there is a monkey population in Florida.
So the guy that with the monkeys.
Doesn't
that
Florida
stole
have one of the
car-
worst invasive species problems there is?
Oh, for sure,
think
dude.
so.
They have
Yeah.
they have a hella
Like,
bad problem with
like
like
boa
pythons, kudzu,
Boa
type of
constrictors
bugs.
and
Hell
pythons
yeah,
and shit.
dude. Hell yeah.
I guess
that,
that's why Florida, man, is the only thing that can survive there. Because you would have to be absolutely crazy to deal with herpy monkeys, boa constrictors, alligators, fucking kudzu, and whatever else the hell they have going on there, and then just be like, yeah, I still live in Florida. It's cool.
Yeah,
We
Florida.
didn't really talk
Some,
about the
Japanese
stolen car story
Beatles.
very much. What happened there? Did the guy take his monkey with him to go steal a car, or what?
Yeah, that's where I wanted
Are
to
you
know
talking
about
about the one that got arrested for DUI, or the one that got arrested, or for that got attacked for? Are you talking about the guy that got arrested for driving drunk, or the
Oh yeah, for some reason I thought it was
or for the
stealing.
stolen car, or the other, or
the stolen
that
car.
monkey?
Yeah, we're talking about stolen cars. The guy that got arrested. Wait, the monkey that got arrested for driving a stolen car and got taken away from his owner.
Oh, all it said is that he was arrested. He didn't have a permit for the animal, and the police let the guy say goodbye to his diaper-wearing monk before taking him to the Suncoast Primate Sanctuary. So that was nice of him, I suppose.
At least they let him say goodbye. You would think that you'd have a chance to
They
get
didn't
your
have to do
permit.
that.
Like I would think you'd have 30 days to get a permit or something. You know what I mean? Like
You know that you know that shit was talked about in the morning. You know, like they do that squad room. They all go to the squad room and do like a report or whatever. I guarantee.
Oh, I thought
that
you were
that
talking about
fucking
just in the
that
jail
was on
cell.
the docket that day.
But look, I mean, let's be real. If
No,
you've
I'm talking
got
about, like,
an
you know,
illegal
cops.
monkey, if you've got an undocumented monkey, you shouldn't be out stealing cars and shit.
I mean, how do you even react to that
Right.
if you're in jail and you're sitting on the bench and you're like, "Hey, man, what are you in
Hey.
for? Illegal ownership
Right.
of a monkey?"
Right.
Stole a car and illegal primate possession?
Yeah.
Would have been funnier as if he was like a sovereign citizen. Like you have no monkey. I know my rights.
This isn't
Yeah,
a monkey.
just
It's a deck
made it a
primate.
whole funny.
See, they never would have got me if I ever get my monkey. They're never going to catch me because I already have a plan for just these types of scenarios.
Get a license?
Monkey, well,
What?
that too, but teach your monkey to throw its poop at your enemies.
That's probably gonna get
I mean,
this cops
I
coming.
I think Stag's plan was even better. I think Stag's plan was even better. Don't fucking take monkeys with you while you're going to steal cars.
Yeah, don't bring your monkey on a heist.
Don't heist. Don't have a heist.
That's not a fair thing to say though, because then how are people going to know that I'm the monkey Mustang bandit that only steals Mustang cars with my monkey? I have a calling card that I have to fucking keep with me. If I don't have the monkey, you don't know I'm the monkey Mustang thief.
And let's be real, a monkey could probably
True.
help on
I'm
a heist.
branding myself
Yeah.
out here, trying to get my name out there as the best monkey-owning car thief in the game.
We've all seen
And
enough
you're telling me
90s
to leave my monkey at home. That's bad advice.
We've all
That
seen
doesn't
enough
help my
90s
brand.
movies- We've all seen enough 90s movies to know that a monkey could be really useful on a heist.
Yeah, yeah.
In so
yeah.
many ways. Have you seen Aladdin?
And it seems kind of racist to exclude the monkey just based on, you know what I mean, its species, or I guess speciesist. When in fact,
Yeah,
like
that's speciesist right there.
you're not saying like, hey, don't bring a cat with you on a heist. Don't bring your, manatee with you on a heist. You're only saying
Don't bring your sea monkeys with you. Like, sure, sea monkeys aren't gonna do shit. Like,
All right, touche.
but a monkey?
How about don't steal cars? How's that?
I don't know, dude. I mean, have you tried to make a living in 2019, dude? The economy is fucked. Jobs
I
Are they-
have, and
more and more difficult to find.
I don't like this.
agree.
I don't like this
I
occupation
really-
shaming. As an SJW, I would like to stop this occupation shaming. That car thief goes to work, puts in 8 hours a day stealing cars, and you're just like, "Oh, he stole my car! What an asshole!" He's got a job to do too. His job is stealing cars. If you'd have protected your car better, it wouldn't have gotten stolen.
Amens in the chat.
Don't shame carjackers.
Can we get some amens in the chat, please?
We need a soundboard or something.
Amens in the chat. Who is out here in your chat? Holy shit, it is active.
Is it?
Yeah,
I can't even see it. I'm on my phone.
I'm gonna go through some hellos. Hello, Doc Fearsome. Hello, Christy Santiago. Hello, SP00KY Bedhair. Hello,
SP00, that's the sunscreen that Staggerson never buys.
No, that's spooky. That hairs.
That's the kind that I need.
Yeah, yeah.
SP00, it does nothing. How
It
do
does nothing.
I could buy the 100+.
Staggerson's sunscreen is just white paint.
No, that's spooky bad hair.
Let's wear a burqa.
That's not a bad idea. I think I would look cute in a burqa. Like I have really pretty
I'm sure.
Eyes.
fingers.
Yeah. Just eyes. That's it. That's all they really need to see.
General shape. General human shape.
Yeah, I have a really attractive like silhouette.
Yeah.
I would make a good shadow, to be honest.
It just looks like a trash bag with eyeballs peeking out of it.
Nah. What I do is I would get first. It's made out of silk, right? So it's like shiny and pretty on the outside, but the inner lining is embroidered and monogrammed, and it's a pattern. So that way I could be real decent out in the streets and a straight haram in the sheets, dude.
Dude, best idea ever. I love it.
Fancy as fuck.
Actually, it's more
All right.
sheets in the streets and sheets in the sheets because you're.
I was gonna.
At first you were
I'll move
saying
on to the
silk.
next article.
Oh, yes, please. Thank you. Let's go.
Okay. The
Holy
city of
moly,
Lake
I'll fucking
Worth
let these guys
warned its
hijack my stream.
residents. The city of Lake Worth warned its residents about zombies. Start time 2018 at May 20th at 1:41:28. Projected repair time 3 hours. Okay, power outage and zombie alert for residents of
Kudos
Lake
to
Worth
them.
and
They
Vermont.
managed to thwart a zombie apocalypse in 3 hours. That's some skills.
Can you imagine that
You're burying the
popping up on
lead
your
right
na-
there,
on your
sir.
news? Dude,
Wait, what?
if you can quell a zombie, if you can quell, they put they put out a notice that power outage and zombie alert for residents of the Lake Worth and Terminus. There are now far less than 7,380 customers involved due to extreme zombie activity. Restoration time uncertain. On May 20th, 2018, 7,000 Lake Fort Worth, Florida residents received a power outage notice that also warned of zombies. The message was sent around 1:45 a.m. and read what I already told you about the power outage and zombie alert. Confused citizens believed the city name Terminus mentioned in the jamming referred to the location in seasons 4 and 5 of The Walking Dead. The city's community Facebook page, Lake Fort Worth Live, said the zombie mention was an error. Well, no shit.
No shit.
We are looking into reports that the system that mentioned zombies. I want to reiterate that Lake Fort Worth does not have any zombie activity currently, and I apologize for the system message. Lake Fort Worth Communications Specialist Ben Kerr said.
See, that would actually fuck with me because there are times when my town is way too quiet, when there's no tweakers out, there's no sirens, there's no fire trucks, like nothing is going on. And I'll get this like, holy shit, like is something going on? What if it's like a bad thing that doesn't exist? Like I'll have to convince myself that zombies haven't, killed most of the town for a good 10 or 15 minutes. And this happens a couple of days a week. So if I actually got notice that was like, hey, yo, zombies, I would be fucking shitting myself. I would be horrified.
You mean we don't already have zombies here?
I smoke too much weed to not believe that there's zombies out there. As soon as somebody,
I seen a dude. He had wrinkles all over his face. He had like 2 teeth. His eyes were real beady. He was kind of dragging one foot behind him, and he was talking all kind. He was like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
I'm
but
pretty sure that dude was a zombie, bro.
That would
Pretty sure that dude was a zombie.
That would just tell me that guy's normal in my area, and that would make it less like the whole aesthetic would be less terrifying if there was actually a greasy, bloody, rambling man. But without that greasy, bloody, rambling man, dude, I'm left just to believe that maybe there is an actual zombie out there.
They come out the next day and they're like, nothing to worry about. We want to reiterate there are no zombies here. It was just swamp gas.
Like, it's funny
Yeah.
that they're like they put out a notice, one notice that was like no zombies, and then did again, hey, by the way, absolutely there was no zombies. Like, just in case you forgot that we said there was no zombies, absolutely there is no zombies. So
Totally
they're
no.
just one person in their town. Like, here it would just be
Everybody calm brains down. No zombies brains. There are no
Yeah,
no.
don't-
I don't believe
pay
this guy.
attention to the
Something tells me
report.
there might be zombies.
Right. Don't pay attention to reports. There are no zombies. Brains.
Yeah.
But that is exactly what a
The next-
zombie would want you to think.
Yeah, that's exactly
The
what they'd
next-
tell you if there
the
were
next-
zombies.
The next one's pretty funny, but ingenious at the same time. Police try to unlock a phone screen using a dead man's finger.
Oh yeah, the only problem is the warmth transference probably didn't work.
Okay. In March 2018, police shot and killed a man during a chase when he tried to drive away to prevent an officer from searching his car. After his death, police found themselves unable to unlock his phone. As part of an ongoing investigation, their solution: they showed up to his funeral and used his finger to attempt to unlock the phone. While technically legal, many found the move to be in poor taste. I see that, man. I mean, like, doing your job is one thing, but that's a little tasteless, you know?
Yeah, did they say
You
at the funeral?
Yeah, they showed up to
Yes,
the funeral.
Hell yeah!
I mean, they could have went to the ME's office or something and done it right afterwards.
See, that's a
the
good
funeral
point.
was a really
I
bad
was
choice.
thinking just show up to the viewing. Like, go to the viewing, which comes before the funeral. Like, it's like the day or two
Right.
before the
Well, that
funeral.
had to be what they meant.
I mean,
Wait,
I'm saying, why didn't they do it when they did the autopsy or at the ME? You know, if someone dies in a murder or in a shooting, they're going to be autopsied.
Reasons, but still, my point is like at a viewing, people are coming and going. You could have waited until there was nobody in the room and then been like, boop, unlock that iPhone, baby. But the way that the story makes it sound is like they were like, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today. Excuse me, folks, just need to slide by here real quick. I just need to shake this guy's hand.
No, what they should have done was they should have come in 30 black suits heavy, right? Guns pointed at everybody in the fucking pews. Had everybody
Nobody move
around,
Yeah.
and have one guy come up in like a lab suit coat and lab coat and come up and do the fingerprints thing, and then say, okay, location contained, and then walked out, and then they could have filed out backwards, still point, because then people they wouldn't have had a complaint because they would have thought it was like the most serious thing going on ever. You can't.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to complain if you think it's like the FBI showing up.
You've got a brilliant mind,
Right.
Mulatto. Has anybody ever told you that? I really love that.
Yeah.
That plays into my desire to go and fuck with people by making them think that SCPs have escaped. I don't know if you guys are familiar with SCP. It's a wiki thing where they write scary stories about aliens and shit. And it's
Yeah,
all fiction.
Secure, contain, protect, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It pops up on my YouTube once in a while.
I like those. Brent Daniel, the channel Brent Daniel. The dude's got a really great voice. He does a bunch of those SCP read-throughs. They're fucking great.
Yeah. Some of them are really good. Some of them are really cringe. I'll say that.
Yeah, they had
But
in that community not too long ago because somebody made their SCP like whatever the thing was, like a haunted Sega Genesis or whatever. They made it trans, so they had a trans like haunted Sega Genesis, and that community got like pissed at each other.
yeah. The snowflakes got mad at the other people because of the and this war has been going on because there was I think it was a slutty doorknob at one point.
Slutty doorknob. That was a thing. This
There
really
was a-
slutty doorknob.
Yeah. Just looking at the doorknob made you horny or something like that. And then a bunch of people said that was like victim blaming because you were saying that the doorknob was asking for it.
I like it. I like that.
And that started like a whole war that's still going on, as far as I know, where they're just trying to troll and trigger each other. Yeah.
The doorknob was asking. You lost me right there at the end.
Okay. SCP is about stupid items that are like, imagine like holy relics, where it's got like a magical ability, right?
Yeah, yeah, okay.
So this doorknob's magical ability is that it's sexualized. It's a slutty doorknob. Whenever you look at it, it arouses you.
And you want to fuck the doorknob.
Yeah,
allegedly. Yeah, I think so. I didn't read the full article, to be honest. I saw a video on it. But yeah, and so the other half of the community, the SJW half of the community, were like, you're victim blaming the doorknob because you're saying that it was asking for it. Like, it shouldn't have dressed that way before it went on the door.
That
type of thing.
Make a fucking any sense.
That community is mostly like 12-year-olds and like young young people. So it's like there are people that might have an idea of what, say, like an exploitative story concept is, or an exploitative story arc, or a problematic arc, or whatever. But they don't fully understand it. So, like a mature man like me, I could go in there right now and write an SCP that is intended to make people that are like almost aware of those things intentionally angry, and then they'll riot amongst each other. And it's actually fairly easy. Go ahead.
There's potential for a really great story here.
Well, the story is actually okay.
You've got like a King Midas situation, perhaps, where if I'm going to put myself in the shoes of the doorknob, at first I think it's great that everybody's horny when they look at me, but after a couple weeks, you start to get like all this goo on you.
That's part of the fun of those stories, is writing things like that from other stories. So like you read the slutty doorknob, and then you write your own SCP that's like that slutty doorknob's diary all the way up to a certain point, and what happens is people in the community will they'll find one, and then they'll read through other people's added lore to it. And oftentimes, because it's 10 people working on one thing, it doesn't make any sense, but it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. So it's like, I was just gonna say, it's like about on a 100% scale, there's like 20% of it is actually readable. It's just like fanfic. Like 20% of it is actually readable, and you go, oh, this is a pretty compelling story. I am interested in the thing that this person invented. Then the other like 80% is just like the weirdest, strange, like. You don't even. It's like a fucking fever dream. That's the word I'm looking for. It's like a fucking fever dream, and you're going, why did they write this? Who would conceive of this? Where did this come? What is this about? I don't get it. I'm going on to the next story now.
And then everyone gets mad.
Oh no! Sometimes the ones that are well written, like the slutty doorknobs, still get fucking trashed by sensitive snowflakes. But I'm just saying, about 80% of everything on that site is just poorly, not written well.
Yeah, it's a fanfic shit posting, but like where the thing that you're a fan of is some imaginary thing what you've just made up.
Oh, because it's not the doorknob's fault that everyone gets horny when they look at it.
Yeah. It's not it's not like the doorknob is like trying to make people horny, right? It's just making people horny by virtue of existing.
And so you got that slobbery, shitty doorknob covered in shit and slobber.
Cum,
yeah. All kinds of cum.
Thanks for having us on your channel in Holy Mole. We appreciate it. This doorknob.
No problem. I don't even know where the doorknob came from. But the next article is pretty funny. I'll go on to it. A woman blamed a windy day for the cocaine found in her purse.
Yeah.
What's it say?
The wind
that always happens. You just can't help it.
That happened one time with a heroin needle. The rain came, and suddenly I was in my garage doing heroin, and I was like, "Fucking rain, dude!"
Right.
I was just gonna say, it's a little breezy outside
I
here in
slipped.
California right now. I might go outside and see if I can, get myself a bag of cocaine. The weather seems like it's the right weather it's cocaine weather right now, is what I'm saying.
There's teeners flying through the air.
Is that how it works? I thought we would just have to hold a bag open and just catch it in the plastic bag and get as much cocaine as you want at that time.
Oh
Just
shit,
hung up.
officer! I'm sorry to be so high on cocaine today, but you understand how the weather is, correct? You know what? I do understand, citizen. Carry on.
Cocaine all over your car.
Okay, on March 21st, 2018, police in Fort Pierce, Florida, pulled over a swerving car. After the officer smelled marijuana, he conducted a search. One of the passengers, Kanisha Posey, had both cocaine and marijuana in her purse. While she admitted the marijuana was her own, she claimed to know nothing about the cocaine. Her excuse? It's a windy day, she told officers. It must have flown through the window and into my purse.
Dude, just shut the fuck up. If a cop comes up here and is like, "What's this weed? What's this cocaine?" All you got to do is shut the fuck up. Just don't say anything. You're fucked. Don't.
Yeah, you're getting arrested.
Don't make excuses. No excuse is going to sound good. You have cocaine in your purse. Your only excuse you could say is, "I don't know how that got there." Even that's bullshit, and we know it.
I mean,
I would just be honest.
That's even worse than I bought these pants at a Goodwill store and I never checked the pockets, or these pants aren't mine. I don't know how this shit got in the pockets.
Dude,
that's a pretty bad excuse.
I did find ecstasy in my friend bought a Honda Civic. I drove him in his car to go pick that car up. He bought it. And he was like, "Will you drive it back?" Like, sure. I'm driving that car back. Stop by a fucking gas station, get some cigarettes and shit. And when I came out, I dropped my lighter. It had my lighter not fallen between the seat. I don't think homie would have ever found it. My lighter fell down. I reached in there, the fucking baggie with 3 or 4 ecstasies in it. So I'm like,
wow. I'm not saying it's impossible.
I took them and drove home.
Oh, here's a good one. A Florida man. A Florida fisherman hooked 60 pounds of cocaine. The angler spotted the package beneath a dock in the Keys. A Florida fisherman recently found something fishy beneath the dock in the Keys, per ABC News. The angler was in Islamorada on Saturday when he spotted a mysterious
What
package.
the fuck did you just say to me?
I said he was in Islamorada.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, upon closer inspection,
I remember them from the 80s. That was that girl band, Islamorama. Walk like an Egyptian.
No, dude, that's
I think that was
you see at the
I think
airport.
that was the Bangles, dude.
No, that was Bananarama. Never mind.
You're thinking of the
I thought it
people.
was the Bangles. I thought the Bangles sang "Walk Like an Egyptian."
Islamorama is those people that hang out at airports and they wear the orange tunics and they're bald.
Remember the Harry?
Oh yeah, like on that movie Airplane.
I've never seen that movie ever, and don't call me.
Are you
really
shitting me?
I'm
gonna put Airplane on my. I'm putting Airplane on my fucking. What the shit's it called? Rabbit later, and me and Mulatto are watching Airplane later when he's not busy.
No,
It's a good movie.
Joe.
I was making a joke. I said I'd never seen that movie ever, and don't call me Shirley.
Oh.
Surely.
That
hey,
changes
you know,
things. Never mind. I was excited. I was like, I get to watch Airplane with someone who's never seen it before.
You want to hear something funny? The county I live in, back in the 80s, the sheriff's name was Shirley Nelson, and he married a lady named Shirley. So I always, every time I thought about it, like I always pictured the wedding. The priest was like, "And Shirley, do you take Shirley to be your lawfully wedded husband?" And she was like, "Why Shirley?" And then, and then then they went around, and he's like, "Well, Shirley."
Dude, this is not totally related, but I dated a girl one time whose parents' names were the same as our names, but reversed in gender. So like her mom's
Weird.
name was Jerry and her dad's name was Don, and like they were whenever we were we were like 13, 14 when we started dating or whatever, but they were like, oh my god, I can't wait for you guys. They wanted us to use all their old wedding shit because it already had monograms and initials and first names on it and shit. And you know, hey, I'm getting my little dick sucked, so I'm just like, sure.
Yeah.
This
We
was
gotta
I know
an
your
unrelated
name now.
story. You're-
We gotta get
It's not a secret. You're not anonymous anymore.
No, I go by my name. Again, Unholy Mole's whole stream has been hijacked by mostly just talking about things
Monkeys.
tangentially related.
There's a really good
It
one
did happen.
on that ranker
Monkeys in
page.
Florida. Monkeys in Florida have overrun.
There's on that ranker page. There's a really good one. If you scroll down, it's police arrested a Florida man for climbing on top of a playground structure and lecturing kids on where babies come from. You gotta see the, so let's have a look at the picture of this guy, though. Hold on a second. We need the picture here for context.
Lecturing people on where babies came from?
Yeah, this guy here. This is the guy.
Oh, yeah. That's the guy I want giving my kids sex ed talks.
Well, he got high on bath salts for sure, and fucking decided it was time to lecture people on where
Oh,
babies.
he
Can you imagine how
looks
he
like
talks
something
with
else,
mouth like
dude.
You listen here, kid.
Holy
I'm not
cow.
gonna tell y'all how the baby come from.
That guy is Takeshi
He's
916.
Ladies in the
I know,
chat,
for
smash
real.
your pass. Ladies in the chat, smash your pass.
Yeah, smash or pass on Takeshi 916.
Oh, goodness me.
I like it.
Did you guys see the one above that? Hold on a second. Let me find it again.
Drill.
For the other two people in the chat, 916 is the area code for Sacramento. So
Someone donated
I'm sure Mulatto got that joke, but
Yeah, I was there.
yeah.
Someone donated a loaded grenade launcher to Goodwill. A grenade launcher complete with a live grenade was found in a donation pile at the Tampa, Florida Goodwill.
God
Christy,
damn
you
it!
should
Why
go
am I
to-
always shopping at the wrong Goodwills?
Christy, you should go to Tampa and see if you could get the grenade launcher. That'd be an awesome buy.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you always hear about this shit found in a thrift store, like in Claymore Mine. It's like, why am I never at the right thrift store at the right time? I'd love to have some of that shit. Protect my yard from tweakers.
A high school included a live tiger as part of their prom decoration.
Alright.
In a move that outraged animal rights organizations, including PETA, Christopher Columbus High School in Miami used a live tiger as part of their prom decorations. That wouldn't just outrage animal rights activists. That would fucking outrage parents. It would outrage students.
What the fuck was their prom theme? Tony Montana?
I have no idea, but I would not want to I wouldn't want a tiger strolling around the school while I'm trying to fucking get my prom piece of ass.
This year's prom.
The
theme, ladies
student
and
body
gentlemen.
council took a vote, and this year's prom theme is going to be Scarface. Everybody,
It's a mix, it's a mix between, is it Scarface or is it peak era Mike Tyson?
right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Don't forget to bring your cocaine and Tommy gun.
All right, boys. I gotta Unholy Mo. Thanks for having me on. Sorry, we hijacked your
Oh,
stream.
no problem. No problem. Oh, that's
Hopefully
okay.
you had
Dude.
a
It
good
happens.
time. Guys, hit me
Oh,
up.
always.
Remember to follow my
It
YouTube
happens.
channel, Mumkey Jones.
Pumpkin?
Yeah. Mumkey Jones. That's his channel. Follow it.
Do you think they
If you-
just?
if
I
you want
think
to
that
show
YouTube
anything,
just
go
thinks
ahead and
he's
throw
an incel.
me too.
I think all YouTube thinks is he's an incel, and that's all they know. But he's not, and they don't realize that. Even though they like shut down his girlfriend's channel too, that should give it away, I guess. But
Well, they're trying to get him. They're trying to get rid of his girlfriend. Obviously, then he will be an incel. Then they will be right, and then everything will be fine.
I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm not getting the whole story. Like I'm only hearing his side of it. Maybe there really was something on his channel that.
Yeah, to be honest, I really don't understand what's going on with his channel because it was two of his channels and his girlfriend's apparently. And I don't know what, like he's a comedy channel. He doesn't even go political. Like he did a thing about how Reactor trolled Grade A Under A. Like that was a video I saw on Mumkey's channel.
Yeah. Well, it was all the Elliot Rogers stuff, I guess, is the video.
See, and that's what I hate about that is, okay, so you're telling me that I can't make light of a situation, even if I'm making light of the perpetuator of the situation. I disagree. If I'm punching up, I should be allowed to punch.
Well, there's a couple things about it that are legitimately bullshit, regardless of how you feel, of what you feel the answer to that question is.
Well, in
and one
comedy,
of them is they actually, by manual review, they had monetized those videos. Those videos have been approved for monetization in the past.
Right.
And the other thing is they gave him 6 strikes in one day, 3 on each channel, all in one day.
Yeah.
Like
and no chance to rectify anything or tell him in any way what was actually wrong. Exactly.
Yeah,
but I don't know what
that they'd already had told him were okay.
What I'm saying is based on content that I've seen of his, I am with you. I don't understand what he could have done that was that bad, because I've seen worse people say worse things and get away with it than anything he said. And I've seen people say way tamer stuff than he said and not get away with it, like Count Dankula. So
Yeah, I was just going to say Count Dankula. But as far as YouTube goes, Count Dankula did get away with it. They didn't take away his channel.
Oh, shit.
Well, yeah, fair enough. I meant legally he didn't quite get away with it because he had to go to court. But, but like my point is like, I don't see what he could have said that was all that.
I guess they just think joking about the shooters and stuff just isn't that cool, but they should have given him some warnings.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. But in comedy, if I am punching across, in other words, punching at someone who in the scenario is my equal, that's okay. If I'm punching up at someone who is bigger than me, the government, rich people, whatever, those who are, allegedly better than me, right?
Yeah.
That's okay. But if I punch at the unfortunate or the people who are socioeconomically believed to be beneath me, the poor, the hungry, the homeless, the whatever, that is considered to be punching down, and that is not acceptable ever. It's never okay to punch down. You understand what I'm saying? So to say, for example, Dankula, in my mind, as someone who's done comedy and did the Comedy Store in Hollywood and whatnot, it's like, you're poking fun at the instigators of a horrible thing, and they were horrible people. They deserve to be made fun of. It's okay to joke about Nazis at their expense. Billions of Jews died in the Holocaust. It's not okay to make jokes at their expense. That would be punching down, Where'd Mole go?
I'm right here. I hear your stuff.
That would be punching down. So I think that YouTube just doesn't get the psychology of what they're trying to police right now, which is comedy in a way. They're trying to be the arbiters of what is or isn't good or funny. And
besides, like, being the arbiters of it. They're being incredibly arbitrary about the way they're going about it. Like, why Mumkey? Like you said, there's other people that are saying worse stuff. Like Count Dankula, he didn't get his thing shut down, but he did get in legal trouble. So, but Mumkey, what did Mumkey do? He made videos making fun of Elliot Rodgers.
Right. Which in the comedy world would be considered punching up or punching across. Elliot Rodgers is not a victim. Elliot Rodgers
not a victim, right? Yeah.
I am not making fun of the underprivileged or someone who you can't make fun of the mentally ill, like people that have Down syndrome or any kind of disability like that.
Maybe they look at it, but they're not looking at it from that lens. They're not looking at it from a comedic lens.
But that's what I'm saying is I don't know what lens they're looking at it from, but from a comedic lens, none of these people have really done anything wrong because they're all punching up at something that is
true, yeah.
Ripe to be made fun of, ripe to be ridiculed.
I just think it's important to make light of the situation.
I don't think any joke should be off limits as long as it's a joke, you know? I mean, who's to say what can be made fun of and what can be made fun of?
Well, you kind of have to come to an agreement with your audience when you make the joke.
This is, well, it's subjective. Yeah, exactly what Staggerson said. You start out.
That's a good point.
I can start making jokes about you right now, and eventually you would start to think that some of them weren't okay. I bet.
Right, obviously, but I mean, no one ever said that I didn't have the right to be offended.
Right.
Well, the way it goes is normally you build a rapport with your audience, and then you understand. The understanding is that they have gotten a chance to get to know you and therefore are now willing to go down this trail of jokes that you're about to tell because they have an understanding that you're not a bad guy.
Mm-hmm. Here's what I think happened. I think Mumkey did something at the end there, right before all this happened. He did something very specific that YouTube didn't like, and we don't know what that is. And then at that moment, they went through and found some things that they could strike. The strikes don't make any sense. Like the emails he got, the reasons the videos got struck, they just don't make any sense. And they don't add up. They don't conform to reality.
And so, like I say, from a comedic point of view, I don't see what they did wrong. They're punching up or across. Definitely not down. As far as what Mole said, I agree. No jokes should be off limits.
That's I believe not that the game that YouTube's playing. That's not
as far as topically goes. I believe that there are some jokes that when you hear them, you go, "No, that was not a good joke." Objectively, that joke was not good.
Right.
You didn't follow the formula of joke writing. Just like you can take a poem and say, "This poem was not well written. This poem did not flow. This poem did not have cadence. This poem sucked." And I'm not even throwing rhyming into it because, yes, I know poems do not need to rhyme. So I'm going with cadence and flow and whatever imagery that you were trying to capture, whether it came through or not. So I would say that there is nothing that you can't joke about if you joke about it in the right manner, if you follow the guidelines of joking, if that makes any kind of sense whatsoever. But there are times where you can make a joke about something that, like people say, "Oh, you should never make a rape joke." And I'm like, I don't agree. There are plenty of funny rape jokes. It's how you make the rape joke. It's not the subject of the joke. It's the way in which the joke is written or told.
Right. Right. And depending on your audience.
Right.
It's situational.
Well, like Childish Gambino has one of the funniest fucking rape jokes I've ever heard, where he talks about going into the movie theater and like if somebody was going to rape him, they'd have to be like real sneaky about it. Like they'd have to dress up as a theater chair and then he'd go in and sit down in the chair and he's like, I got raped again. He's like, but for women, it's a real thing. And they are always worried about getting raped out of nowhere. Men don't worry about that shit. And he does a whole bit on it. It's hilarious. So to me, to say, oh, you can't joke about rape. Well, he did. And it was hilarious. Louis C.K., who I know is not on the best of terms with the public right now, has made jokes, using various what we would consider in 2018/19 as highly offensive words. The bit I'm specifically thinking of, he uses the F word and the N word. And by F word, I don't mean fuck.
Yeah, the one you can't say.
The one I really can't say or will get demonetized. Yeah.
Demonetized. Demonetized.
As if we were ever monetized. But anyways.
I think it's funny to see so many people worrying about their monetization. And I guess super chats is the main reason that smaller channels have any concern about monetization. But it's like, I don't think I'm ever going to be monetized on YouTube. I might get a Patreon someday, but I don't ever plan on making any money off YouTube.
Right. I don't see it happening with me either.
Is that how it works? So, like, if I have other money-making things on my channel, okay, but I don't, let's say I don't need YouTube's ad rev, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't care too much about super chats. I'll just read the chat or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So if I have a Patreon, yada, 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 that has nothing to do with the monetization of the actual channel itself.
No. Patreon's a completely separate entity.
Yeah, they're a separate company, and they take what 30%. Is
No,
it tax?
Something like that.
I think it's 30%. I believe.
I don't think it's that high, but I don't know.
It isn't. I might be thinking of what's the other crowdfunding?
Take like 30%, I think.
Oh, maybe Super Chat.
I think I'm just gonna start making.
I don't know.
I think I'm just gonna start making unedited and edited versions of my videos, and then be like, if you want to see the unedited version, come to my website, and then if you're a Patreon, there will be a special area. You can see it with all the fucks and shits left in.
Right.
If you want to see the unbleeped, unblooped version, we'll have the adult version over on sleekthegeek.ninja. It's .com.
Ninja.
Here's a kooky story I just found.
Yeah, I actually have a sleekthegeek.ninja website. Stags, is that what you're doing right now? You're looking it up?
No.
I haven't built it yet, but I have it. I own that. We have it. It's in the process of being constructed currently. Thank you. Working on the studio, working on the website. That's what I've been doing for the last little bit that I've been kind of semi-inactive.
Who is Adam Curly Kale?
This guy, I guess.
Well, anyway, Adam Curly Kale had his whole body tattooed and his nipples and genitals removed. As far as the weird news goes, Adam Curly Kale, hold on, stupid pop-up. Adam Curly Kale can make only that. He got his first tattoo when he was 20. It was a small 2-word, 3-letter message on his arm, I am. But Curly Kale, now 32, has undergone a major transformation. In the 12 years since that first tattoo, he has tattooed almost his entire body, at least 90% of it, including his face, eyeballs, with jet black ink, and he has several body piercings as well. But that still wasn't enough to satisfy him. Feeling that they were interfering with the aesthetic of his look, Curly Kale had his nipples, penis, and testicles surgically removed on July 14th.
Ooh.
A resident of Kaliningrad, Russia, Curly Kale traveled to the Jardine Hospital in Guadalajara, Mexico, to have the operation.
Why?
Why Mexico? Well, Mexico's probably the only place that would do it.
Why any of it?
Well, I know why any of it, but I'm just saying that's just...
I can't even be funny, Mole. This is just scary. This is the scariest thing. This is terrifying. That guy thought his nipples and junk were in the way. I mean, I don't want to say I don't like. That's not the right way to say this. I'm not fond of gender reassignment surgery because I believe that act in it of itself is a form of mutilation.
Oh, for sure. And if if you have your testicles removed, he's gonna have to go on.
And they have a more
testosterone
legitimate
replacement.
reason than this thing got in my way.
Right.
It was messing with his aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It wasn't
fucking with my
aesthetically
look.
pleasing. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little bit extreme, if you ask me. A whole lot extreme. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and I don't have anything against people that have transitioned, but I believe that the doctors that are performing that should all be in trouble. They should be talked to sternly.
I think doctors should sit down with people and go over exactly everything that could happen, the pros and the cons.
Sure they do.
Well, as I understand it, there's a 50% suicide rate for people that have been reassigned.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
and
cool.
How many people in the news within the last 6 months have you heard that are detransitioning back?
How can you even do that?
I'm not
shit's
sure,
gone.
but I mean, that just goes to show you that goes to show you it was a trend, just like fucking tongue piercings were in the 90s. I mean, that's pretty sad.
Back.
I'm not saying that there's no, for real transgender people, I think it kind of makes a mockery of them by all these people just jumping on the train and wanting to be transgender as well.
Yeah, like I get it, and I understand. I'm with you, Mole. I totally, because it's like,
what am I talking about? Okay, you know how like all of a sudden all these like the Milos and the fucking
who's transitioning back is what I'm asking. Who?
I heard Blair White was
what?
Yeah, quite a few people. And they just decided that it was a bad choice. They should have never done it. But like I said, I think a lot of people
Blair White. Okay, she's super right wing. That might have something to do with it.
Yeah. Maybe she went to a Pray the Gay Away camp.
I don't know. Is that even true? I'm skeptical.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I seen it on her channel though, so I mean it might.
But I think she's a drama llama in the first place, anyways.
Yeah,
like I don't have a huge amount of respect for Blair White as far as that goes. Of all the people that I do have respect for that are still in the community, because a lot of people have dropped off and gone the fuck away and gone this way or that way or the other way. Yeah, Blair White was never really one of them that had my respect. It seemed to me that a lot of the shit she did was all clickbait.
For sure.
All sensationalism.
Based on the results I'm seeing, that is the case. That there's a video she uploaded in November 21st called "I'm Detransitioning," and a video she uploaded just a week ago that says "Detransitioning, regret, and going back."
What's her boyfriend gonna do now that she's a guy? Is he gonna be gay then?
Reconstructive surgery and shit.
I mean, if you're dating a transgender person already, aren't you already kind of gay?
I don't know.
I mean, it's your own perspective, isn't it? If in your mind that trans person is a girl, if you accept that narrative, then to you you're not gay because you're dating a woman. You're dating Blair. But when Blair goes back to being Billy or whatever Blair's real name or dead name was, or
right, I get what you're saying.
I'm not trying to be insulting towards trans people in any way, shape, or form.
But what I'm saying is, like, what about people that have like partially transitioned? I mean, and if a man's dating them and they still have a penis, I mean, are they not a little bit gay anyway? You know, I mean.
Sure, yeah, just at least a little bit, or very understanding about what their partner is going through, and whatever.
Bisexual at the least. I mean, like I said, I have nothing. If more power to you. If that's what
live your life, man. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, if it doesn't affect me, I really like. If it's not going to have some kind of impact on me or my family or other people that are like me, I really don't care what you do. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, you want to be gay? Are you going to try to like gay me up? No. Okay, then be gay. You know,
But I've never been under the impression that Blair White was a trans-trender at all.
No, me neither. No.
I don't think she's a trans-trender as far as that goes. I think she's I think that her video content is sensationalized, and that
Yeah,
she
she capitalizes on it.
You were
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
I believe that she.
people are
I
being
believe I'm
transitioned.
okay with believing that she is
That it was
legit trans.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of
yeah,
going
I
back
do.
to the idea that this was all evidence that it was a trend. But if the one example you can give me is Blair White, and we're accepting that she wasn't a trender,
I don't even think Riley was a trender, to be honest with you. I don't even know if
Yeah.
Riley was a trender.
I don't think
You know?
I don't think there's any reason to think that that's something people would do because of it's a trend.
I mean, and even a lot of the people that are trenders, I wonder almost if, I mean, in their mind, are they actually being trans? I mean, they probably believe in it wholeheartedly, and then once they've gone through with it, or it gets a little further down the road, they're like, "Oh my, I've made a fucking mistake,"
Well,
Well,
and the problem is we're living in this confusing era. So you have people who are men or women, who don't feel like your stereotypical man that you see in a magazine or a television commercial, and then decide that, oh, since I don't fit the norms of cigarette smoking, truck working on, cattle roping guy, I must not be a man.
Right.
Because I don't like working on cars or drinking whiskey.
Yeah, I've never.
I
been
like
that
smoking
guy
pot
either.
and fucking around on computers. That's not manly shit.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know.
gonna caveat this all with the statement that I don't take anything anybody under the age of 22 does. Anything they do, I don't take seriously at all.
No, I don't either.
Right.
I've seen it. Have you guys ever heard of a channel called Dominic Izzo? He's a police officer, and he put out a video that he says no cop under the age of 30 should be allowed to have a badge and a gun. Like, they should have like a limit, like, because he says they give them young cops guns and they fucking go out and arrest people that don't deserve to be arrested. They'll pull their gun in incidences that they don't need pulled. He said they're just on a huge power trip, and they don't have the experience or the life experience necessary to do that kind of work. And I totally agree with him.
Well, and that's why when Colin Kaepernick was first talking about the cops, I was like, oh yeah, yeah, what he said, they don't have as much training as, a lot of other jobs would have. They need more training. They need more, there were certain things about his kneeling that I did agree with. And then there were certain things where I was like, you're just doing this for attention and because you can't play football very good.
Well, it's a blanket statement. We can't say all cops are bad just because a few bad apples ruin it for everybody.
But there's enough bad apples that it ruins it for everybody.
Well,
yeah,
there are a lot of,
and we really do need to start looking into the bad apples and separating them from the good apples.
When you're talking about a whole bunch of people with guns and authority, a couple bad apples is a very good analogy.
Yeah, I know.
When you've got a group of bad apples and a couple of them or a group of apples and a couple of them are rotten, it does spoil all the rest of the apples.
You're right. It does. And also the fact that the good apples are terrified to turn into bad apples. What happens if they go to their higher ups and say, "Hey, man, I don't think this guy should be out in the field. He uses excessive force, blah blah blah."
Snitches get stitches, dude.
Instead of something happening, what's going to happen is that the guy that snitched is going to have a target on his back, and no one's going to want to help him.
Right? It's a thin blue line, man. It's a thin blue line.
Exactly.
Gang activity, man.
It is gang activity. It's exactly what it is. If you wore the same colors,
they just happen to be in the gang that's sponsored by the government. That's the deal.
And you know how every time you see a cop, what's the first thing they do? They throw up the sign like, "Do you have a Can I see your license?" And they always throw up the same sign. "Can I see your ID?" The two fingers out that look like you're holding an ID. That's like their gang sign. "Can I see your ID? Can I see your ID?"
Yeah, and then they're like, "Hey, man, you want to buy some tickets to the policeman's ball? If you don't, we're going to beat you with this bill." That never happened, but it would be pretty cool if it did.
I know what you're saying. Though. Oh, check this fucking article out. Weird news. Cannibal couple accused of eating up to 30 people. A couple in Russia has been accused of the murder and consumption of up to 30 individuals.
Wow.
43-year-old Natalia Baksheva reportedly convinced her husband, 35-year-old Dmitry Baksheva, who is nicknamed Devil, well, that's not surprising, to kill a 35-year-old waitress named Alina Vashrusheva.
See, that's why you got to be careful when you pick nicknames. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
One minute you think you're being cool and edgy, you're calling yourself the devil. Next thing you know, you're eating somebody's fucking spleen. It's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope.
It is. It started out with Baksheva reportedly believed that the waitress had been flirting with her husband. An official statement regarding the case read that because of his character and psychological state of mind, Dmitry lived under pressure from his wife, so he obeyed. He is reportedly suffering from tuberculosis, which is commonly linked to mental health issues. I've never heard of tuberculosis being linked to mental health. Have you guys?
Dmitry, if you want to eat, you're going to eat this tourist.
The only person I know of who had tuberculosis was Doc Holliday, and he reported.
Yeah.
And
Wait, no.
He wasn't really all there, but they don't say that.
The Satine Star from Moulin Rouge, she had it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what's her? Nicole Kidman. Yeah, she had the TB.
Anyway,
that's how she died in the movie.
The Russian investigative committee official Anton Lopatin stated that upon hearing Baksheva's request to kill the waitress, Baksheva took out a knife that he frequently kept on his person and stabbed.
But this was not his plan, right? Did I understand that correctly?
No,
the lady was forcing him into this, right?
Yeah,
it was like she told him to do it, and he pulled out his pocket knife and stabbed her right there.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. The victim died from her injuries on the spot. According to the Moscow Times, the investigation into the so-called cannibal couple began when working men were repairing a road found a cell phone. When they swiped through the photos of a man with different parts of a dismembered human body in his mouth. Ugh. They handed the phone over to the authorities. After police were able to identify the phone's owner as Bakshev, he was arrested. Hold on, something happened.
He was arrested. So far, only Bakshev has been charged with one murder. Oh, it went away. I was reading it.
Yeah, my computer screen went down. Okay, they found after police were able to identify the owner, Bakshev, he was arrested. So far, only Bakshev has been charged with one count of murder, and the investigation is ongoing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Snapping turtle that was fed live puppy by teacher has been euthanized. Huh. What a dickhead teacher.
Yeah.
He looks like Cal.
I think I read another story about that teacher. He was telling kids not to share PewDiePie videos. I think that's the same teacher. Robert
Crossland. The teacher, last week, an Idaho middle school teacher made headlines when he fed a live puppy to a snapping turtle as part of a science demonstration. State officials say the snapping turtle was euthanized, though not because it ate a puppy. The turtle in question, which had been kept in teacher Robert Crossland's science classroom at Idaho's Preston Junior High, was fed a live puppy last week. According to a school parent, someone had brought a puppy to Crossland, who was known for taking in sick animals.
Ew, so he was feeding all these sick animals to this snapping turtle.
Oh, I don't know. It might have been.
So he got the turtle sick. So they had to euthanize it because it was sick?
Maybe.
Well, they
because it wasn't because it ate the dog. He just said that, right? So it had to have been because it was caught something.
Well, Crossland attempted to help the puppy, but eventually deemed it unable to be saved. Then they watched as Crossland put the puppy into the tank of his snapping turtle, where it drowned and was eaten.
Oh,
So the guy's like, well, fuck it. I can't save it. I might as well fucking feed it to a turtle.
The
Might as well drown it.
circle of life.
turtle.
What an odd fucking choice to make.
And don't share
Crossland
PewDiePie
pressed
videos, kids, or you'll go to jail.
He hasn't lost his job. He remains teaching in school. The weird news spread in the school and Crossland both received threats of violence online, resulting in police officers being stationed outside the school to protect the safety of the students. I can't believe the guy didn't get into any trouble. Wouldn't that be considered cruelty to animals? I would think so. I mean,
I guess. I mean, if it was gonna die, whatever. But to do it in front of the kids.
well, and he drowned it first. You know what I mean?
Threw it
So,
in the tank. And then the Fish and Game or whatever came and took the turtle and euthanized it because it's an invasive species. So they just killed it for no reason, really.
get this. The next article is even better. Weird news.
Oh, I've heard this.
Experts believe that Jesus may have used cannabis oil to perform his miracles.
I've heard this. There's a pretty compelling argument.
I've never
as compelling as any weird theory
right.
you've ever heard.
Jesus and his apostles might have used cannabis oil to perform his healing miracles. A controversial theory and some truly weird news being championed by a number of experts. Author David Bienenstock, who is also the editor-in-chief of High Times magazine, believes that cannabis was widely available during Jesus' era 2,000 years ago, which isn't that hard to believe.
Right, yeah, no, I was like, the oil is where they get me, because where's he going to find the butane cans to fucking blast it?
But you
Well, he
can
could have
make
been,
it up okay.
yeah, he could have made like roll hash, like roll hash or something, or he could have pressed
Yeah,
it.
but roll hash wouldn't be oil.
Well, what if you
Exactly.
pressed it?
Water.
What if you pressed it? Press it to get the fucking oil to come out, the trichromes.
You know what? We are all being silly here. If Jesus wants cannabis oil, he's just gonna touch the cannabis and turn it to oil. He doesn't need butane.
Turn beeswax into fucking dab.
Yeah.
Turn water into wine. Turn beeswax into dabs. Sure, why not? Right. That's what I'm saying.
I would be a Christian if they could prove it.
Yeah.
Different in the efficacious cannabis oil used today that wouldn't have been available to people in Jesus' time. It's simply a matter of concentrating the cannabis into the oil and absorbing through the skin.
They knew how to make oils and stuff. See, they're making it with water right there, I think. Or what is that?
It's that way.
So that would be like a distill. Yeah.
It's the
there's different ways to what's the word I'm looking for? Refine oil out of a plant product like that to make essential oils. There's like an alcohol, which is like a solution.
Yeah, you can use alcohol. You can use butane.
You can distill the oils out of the
water.
Yeah. So I guess you could use alcohol. You could use temperature. You could use water. So yeah, in theory, he could have had a way to.
Well, they say the recipes for the oils in Exodus 30, 20 through 25. So if anybody wants to look that up and see what it says,
I'm walking my dog right now.
I'll look it up.
Oh, come here. Here. Hey, get back over here. I'm talking to you.
I'll look it up.
Get over here. I'm trying to put you on your leash, you goofball. All right, now let's get this.
Exodus 30.
Exodus
30.
Exodus 30, 20 through 20, or 22 through 25.
Yea, then thou takest the oil of the cannabis plant, then puttest it on the nail of titanium.
And Jehovah
Yea.
continued to speak to Moses, saying, "Oh, by the way, this is the New World Translation. This is the Jehovah's Witness version."
Yeah.
And Jehovah continued to speak to Moses, saying, "As for you, take to yourself the choicest perfumes, myrrh in congealed drops, 500 units, and sweet cinnamon in half that amount. 250 units, and sweet calamus, 250 units, and cassia, 500 units, by the shekel of the holy place, and olive oil a hin. Then you must make out of it a holy anointing oil, an anointment, a mixture that is the work of an anointment maker. It is to be a holy anointing oil." Yeah, I don't know. I guess that was the recipe. It didn't say anything about cannabis. The cassia, I don't know what that is. And it could be different in the King James.
I got King James. I got King James version pulled up. Hold on, I'll look at it, see what it says.
give us the real Jesus version.
Okay.
Not this no birthday having bullshit that Staggerson's reading.
It's 30. Hold on, I'm pulling it up. Okay. Exodus 30, 22 through 25, King James version. Moreover, the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take also unto these principal spices of pure myrrh 500 shekels, and of sweet cinnamon half so much, even 250 shekels, and of sweet calamus 250 shekels, and of cassia 500 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, and of oil olive in hin.
Same thing.
And thou shalt make it an oil of holy ointment, and ointment compound after the art of apothecary. It shall be a holy anointing oil. I wonder what calamus is.
I wonder what cassia is.
Cassia,
I wonder what sweet
calamus.
drops are.
That's the stuff you drop on your tongue, gets you fucked up.
Isn't that what?
LSD.
But didn't it say in?
How do you spell Cassius? Cassia.
Yeah, IA.
Kassia.
Yeah.
Alrighty. What is cassia in the Bible? Cassia is an essential oil that is an ingredient in anointing. It doesn't say what it's. It doesn't say what it's made from. I don't think.
It's made from eucalyptus.
And calamus is the first. It's a plant of wetlands in the northern hemispheres of both the Old and New Worlds. According calamus, the Latin name is L. Aracaea. The rhizome has a peculiar, sweet, lingering aroma suitable as a carrier in perfume. So that's what it is.
But to go back to what we were saying before we looked up the recipe, yeah, I guess in theory, you know, without knowing too much, we've been using cannabis for like thousands of years, like 10,000 years or something. And they definitely knew how to make oils and how to anoint people with oil. That's how they christened people and whatnot.
I found another thing about calamus, and it says the Hebrew word for calamus is canabosm, which is plural. The singular for this is cannabos, which sounds remarkably close to the modern word cannabis, according to Webster's New Hebrew Dictionary.
You got to be careful doing that though, because that's how people think that guanylate in some food equals bat shit.
Well, read the last sentence though. It says
says the current Hebrew word for cannabis is cannabis, and the only difference in it is instead of EH, it's and instead of NEH, It's NABOS instead of NEHBOS. So it is awfully fucking close.
So it could be safe to say that they were using some. I mean, obviously not the kind of cannabis we're growing and cultivating nowadays by any
But it's
stretch of
not
the
hard to
imagination. I'm
I mean, it's
willing
not
to
hard to
bet that
believe.
it was probably more like a rudalis or a, probably a rudalis or something that they were using for not just medicinal uses, but also for fiber and
Right. But I mean, marijuana's been used
basically hemp. Hemp is
Yeah.
rudalis. It's not
Yeah.
really something you smoke, but it might have had a good smell and made a good scented oil.
And it might have
I
had
don't
small
know.
amounts of THC in it, like not a large amount, but it might have had a small
Trace. Yeah.
And
Well, I
if
mean, like if you have hemp oil, if you get hemp oil now, what we call hemp oil, not the kind that we smoke,
CBD.
but like CBD. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're not going to get fucked up taking drops of CBD. There might be some small trace amount of THC, but it's really not enough to get you high or do anything on that level as a psychoactive substance. You know what I mean? Hello?
I'm here.
Are we still here? Oh, okay. I thought I lost connection or something for a second.
We're here.
I'm walking around getting my tea and getting situated over here.
Oh, a
Just
cup
got
of
done-
tea does sound good.
Dude, I've been into this loose tea lately, and it's fucking just fantastic. You can do all kinds of crazy things with it.
Oh, so you like real tea leaves you're making it with?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I buy it.
bet
It's
a lot
already-
better.
The stuff I'm buying is already blended, so I mean, it's not like I'm doing my own blends or anything like that, but it's loose and it's whole leaf and it's, in my opinion, I'm no expert, but it seems to taste a lot better than plain old tea bags. I still buy those too. How's the
Have you guys
kids?
ever heard of Oh, go ahead. I was just going to ask. Have you guys ever heard of Creation Science Ministries?
No.
I'm gonna read. I'm gonna pull up a couple articles from these guys. They're fucking hilarious.
I've heard of
Hilarious.
creation science before.
Yeah.
But
It's called Creation Ministries International. Here, let's find an article. Oh, this one's funny. Bodily functions and blue eyes in the pre-fall world. Did Adam and Eve have normal bodily functions like urination, defecation, and menstruation before the fall? Could people have developed blue eyes and lactose tolerance before the fall? If they are mutations, should our notions of beauty and disgust dictate what could have happened before the fall? DJ from Sweden writes. It says, you at CMI seem to think humans and animals have had to defecate, urinate, and menstruate before the fall. I find this, at least as it is working now, untenable. It simply is not very good. It's disgusting, for instance. Imagine having a puppy pre-fall, when it seems inevitable that it excretes in people's houses. Also, women often find menstruation and pain in childbirth among the negative things about being
I
a
would
woman.
say that it says in the Bible that women didn't have menstruation before the fall.
Yeah, I agree. It does say that.
Per what I read, part of the whole curse of her eating the apple was menstruation and painful childbirth and cramping and all the other shit, right?
Yeah, that was part of the punishment.
I mean, I'm just saying, clarify for me if I'm misled here from my personal church beliefs. You know what I mean? Like maybe I'm not going the right way, but like I was under the impression that that's.
I'm
So to
guessing
me,
the guy that asked the question doesn't understand. and they'll explain it in the answer.
It sounds like he didn't read the beginning of the book. He just skipped to the end chapter.
Okay, and then it goes on to bodily functions and the pre-fall world. First, we do not think defecation, urination, and menstruation had to happen before the fall. No, it's obvious that God could have arranged circumstances to make those things unnecessary.
Well, there's no comment on whether there was defecation or...
Right. So are they saying that people didn't have buttholes before the fall?
Are they saying we didn't eat before the fall?
Yeah.
Are they saying we were biologically different prior to the fall?
They probably assume our metabolism metabolized everything so perfectly that there was no waste left over.
This is saying that they probably did shit.
Yeah, I think they probably did shit and piss, but I think the menstruation, because it is specifically covered in the first book of Genesis, is probably something they didn't do before the fall. That would be my take on it if I were a religious person.
Right. So, since they're normally body functions that are not explicitly ruled out from the pre-fall world by Scripture, it's far more likely that that they did happen, or at least would have happened given enough time in the pre-fall world. Okay, but you say they violate the very good condition of Genesis 1:31, which is, and God saw everything He had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning the sixth day.
I would contend that it wasn't very good. It was like kind of okay, because his creation still ended up defying him, eating the fruit off of the tree, listening to the snake, and fucking the whole thing up. That's not very good. That's like, it's passable. Plan. Like, that's a C. That's a C.
But it's all part of God's plan.
Did Adam and Eve have to eat before the fall? If it was, then many animals people find disgusting, e.g. slugs, couldn't have existed before the fall. Rather, the pre-fall world was very good in the sense of moral goodness and physical health and fecundity. Was God's finished creation perfect? After all, look at what the fall introduced: evil, suffering, disease, death, uncertainty in food production, the certainty of moral and physical health. Okay, where was I? Uncertainty.
You were telling us whether they peed and pooped in Genesis or not.
That, of course, doesn't mean that the pre-fall world was generally a disgusting place. Far from it. But to say that there was nothing in the pre-fall world that we might find disgusting goes well beyond the biblical scope of the Genesis 1:31 very good condition. So when we look at urination, defecation, and administration, what aspects of biblically informed understanding of the pre-fall very good condition do they violate? Nothing. They're not evil. Any suffering, disease, and death they might produce now wouldn't have been an issue in the pre-fall world, and they can't even contribute to the ecological system, so they're not necessarily a detriment to productivity.
Now, my thing is they probably peed and pooped, because there's no mention in the Bible of God altering their physical forms after the curse. Like with the snake, He made it crawl around on its belly. They specifically note that snake, prior to being a snake, had arms and legs, and God took them away. And people want to step on its head with their heel, and it slithers in the dust. That's the deal. That's the punishment for the snake for making us eat the whatever fruit it may have been. And the punishment for the woman is, all the pain and what we talked about. So nowhere in there does it say, and you're also going to leak water from your dick and excrete poo from your bowels. So I'm assuming, that's all I can do, but I would assume that they peed and pooped like anybody else. That there's no mention of their biological form being changed as part of the curse. Therefore, they probably did all the normal biological natural functions that anybody else does. Because I don't think pooping or peeing is a sin. It's just ridding your body of excrement.
Right. It's a natural part of life. So, yeah, I mean,
Right. Even animals poop. So, I mean, like,
Right.
are you telling me that none of the animals before the fall pooped either?
Well, some would have you believe that none of them ate meat.
Yeah, they were
Right,
supposed to be all
right.
vegetarian
And the lambs lay down with lions and all of that. Exactly. Yeah, no, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I guess I just have a hard time thinking that, mainly as a somewhat scientifically minded person, it's like, no, they for sure they pooped. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
For sure.
I kind of find the question in and of itself a really ridiculous thought experiment to even, not that we're going on the thought experiment, we're just commenting on their participation, you know what I mean? But they're even participating in such a thought experiment seems ludicrous to me. Like, why would that be a concern?
Right.
Why is that a question?
It's icky.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only, exactly. And it's like,
Bro.
okay, it's icky. Fine.
But there wasn't
And
any icky stuff in the Garden of Eden.
Well, who said it was in the Garden of Eden, in the Garden of Eden bathroom? You know what I mean? Like, it was over off to the side. It was Garden of Eden adjacent.
The bathroom of Eden.
Yeah, What always trips me out is when you read in Genesis, so everybody's in Eden and everything's all chill, but then they go out and hang out with other people in the land of Nod.
Yeah, like they go meet other people right away.
Yeah, like right in Genesis, like before Exodus, before Moses is even hanging out with Egyptians, the angels are fucking people and making titans of some sort. I forget what they're called now. There's the word for it.
The cities. Yeah.
Nephilim.
Nephilim. Yeah.
Half human, half angel creatures that were created by the spawning of angels and humans together, right? Isn't that the Nephilim?
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, they
Good
talk
job.
about that in the Bible. That's in the Bible. Where are they now?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Smithsonian hides them.
Apparently. And Genesis itself pretty much proves that Adam and Eve couldn't have been the first or only people. Because, like I said, they went out and met other people, like, almost immediately.
Yeah, when Cain takes a wife and it never says where she came from.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah. Either there's some stuff missing and the Christian people don't want to acknowledge a few flaws in their document, or Cain fucked his sister.
Yeah, well,
Younger
that's what they
sister
say.
at that, might I add.
That's what they usually say, is it had to have been Cain's sister. And I think the Book of Jubilees mentions 3 daughters that Adam and Eve had.
I just found a thing about Cain's wife. Who was Cain's wife? It's now not lawful to marry your sister. So if Adam and Eve were the only 2 people God created, how could their son Cain find a wife? How is this important in the gospel? What about the land of Nod? Whoopsie, went too far.
Okay, who made the people of Nod?
God.
That's the question, I suppose.
When I was a believer in all this, I always thought it was rather silly. Like, it never really says that God didn't create other people. It seemed pretty obvious to me that the idea was that there were other people out on the planet, but Adam and Eve were special, and they were allowed to stay in the Garden of Eden until they weren't. But that still kind of fucks up the whole narrative. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
'Cause it was
In
'cause
the
of their
beginning,
sin that we
yeah,
all
'cause-
exist, and we all descend from them. So what?
Right. For sure,
Almost
bro.
like it's all just made up by people who don't understand how things work.
Yeah.
I have to agree.
I'm starting to think that religions were made by people in the Bronze Age who didn't understand how things work.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think?
Like how to cook pork to an appropriate internal temperature so you don't get trichinosis. Or
Right.
or that if you boil a lobster long enough, it won't make you sick and die. I think it's pretty easy to attribute things killing you to God when you don't know enough about what kinds of things might kill you.
Yeah.
Like
And
if it's
imagine,
not an
like,
arrow,
imagine
it
you're,
must have
like,
been
an actual
God.
scientist back then, and you figured out that the way most people cook their food isn't doing the trick on this pork and these lobsters, and that's why a lot of people are dying, is because they're eating this dirty shit. But you can't convince these fucking savages of that, so you have to write this book that says that God said it or something like that.
Well, it's just like now. You can try to tell all these fools about what's really going on in the world and what we observe, and for the most part, a vast swath of us get it. And then you go try to talk to somebody, it's like Plato's The Cave. You try to go back in the cave and tell the person that the shadows on the wall are just shadows and they're not really indicative of anything. And they go, no, you are incorrect. You are the one who does not know what they are talking about.
Right.
The shadow is a god, and we must make it happy and give it offerings. And it's like, nah, it's a giraffe. It's outside the cave mouth, man. Like, and you just can't explain it to them. You'll never be, and I don't think you'll ever be able to. I think until somebody walks out of the cave themselves and sees the fucking giraffe, they're just gonna sit in the cave and be like, yeah, I agree with you, but, and it's like, no, but, man, like, we are being manipulated all day, every day, at every turn by pretty much everything, by the government, by the media, by the religion. The more of these people you allow to control you, and it's not even allowing them to control you. It's more like if you don't acknowledge the fact that they are for sure trying to control you, then you will fall for their control because you don't even know that that's what they're doing. If you know that they're trying to control you and manipulate you, then you're looking for the manipulation, and when it happens, you see it, and you're like, aha, see, I knew you were trying to do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So a lot of people just watch this shit in a autopilot daze, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm just gonna, just gonna watch the old football and believe whatever the TV tells me because the news can't lie. There's a law, isn't there? There used to be. Fox broke that law. It's like, so now it's just like everything everywhere is manipulation. Everything everywhere is a battle for your brain, I guess. They already have your body for the most part.
Right.
Now they just want you to have right think. They just want you to think the right way. And I'm not talking about liberals. I'm talking about either side, both sides, all sides. Any religion, I'm not picking on any in particular, select group. It's just how manipulation works. They want you to think. The in group wants you to think like them, and if you don't think like them, then you're part of the out group. But if you don't conform to the out groups, norms, what they think, then you're in their out group as well. You know what I mean? Like, so now you're like a double outcast. You don't fit in with the mainstream, and you don't fit in with the outcasts either. Like how Jake just like cast away a bunch of flat earth people by saying he didn't think it was flat anymore. He lost some viewers for that.
Yeah.
because he's no longer with the hip, cool flat Earth kids, and since he's not towing the same narrative that the other alt flat earthers are saying, he's not cool with them either. You know what I mean? So now he's in his own tertiary group or secondary out group, whatever. You know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah. Another group. When they do that, when they say they don't think the Earth is flat, but they know it's not round, I feel like that something finally clicked in their brain, and they realized that it's not fucking flat, and they're probably wrong about everything, but their cognitive dissonance just doesn't quite allow them to, or
Well,
sunk loss fallacy.
I-
some
I
kind of
honestly
connection to the
feel
brain
bad
that
for
let
them.
go of all the shit they've already said.
I honestly feel bad for them to an extent. Like, I genuinely have sympathy for Jake, because in his mind, and I'm going to try to steel man him as best I can. I've been watching some, that guy I told you about, Sam Harris. In his mind, the government has lied to us at every turn. They lied about landing on the moon. Now, I'm not going to talk about the validity or lack thereof of these claims. I am just stating that these are his beliefs. So we don't need to debate whether these beliefs are accurate or not. We all agree that they are not accurate in this group. But he believes that they lied about going to space. They lied about the moon. They lie about chemtrails. Those are the ones that I can immediately spring to mind. But he definitely believes in all of those theories, right?
Yeah.
And while I agree with him on one level that the government or the whatever you want to call the hoi polloi that run this whole fucking shit show, right?
Mm-hmm.
The establishment, the elite, whatever they are. I don't like Illuminati, because whenever people start saying Illuminati, it conjures images of like black magic and robes and creepy shit. And I think they probably just wear 3-piece suits and really get like psychology and hypnotism and how the brain works and how to manipulate you. I don't think there's anything. If there is a quote unquote Illuminati, I think they're using perfectly mundane, tactics to sway you to the way they want to sway you to, whichever way that happens to be. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say? Whereas a lot of people are like, they use sorcery. I'm like, nah, I think they use psychology, man. I think they just know how to fuck with your brain. If they exist.
That it's even that deep.
I'm just saying, if there's even an Illuminati, I think they just use normal mundane tactics that work, and that it doesn't require a demon. You know what I mean? Or some supernatural something. If there is a cabal of very wealthy, very influential people who get together in secret locations and make plans for what they're going to do this year, I could see that being plausible, because I know Bohemian Grove is real.
Right.
As a location, as a place that people meet up, I know that it's real. What happens there, I don't know.
They have their little get-togethers and their weirdness happens. Yeah, it's weird for sure. They do their little weird shit there for sure.
Yeah.
Right,
Well,
and that's what I'm saying is, I don't think that it has to be like, and then they do a pentagram, and then they praise the Dark Father. I'm like, maybe they just talk about what kind of subliminal messages they're going to put in the commercials this year. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's
they just talk about whatever else. Maybe that's just their.
Or maybe it's legit what it is. Maybe it's just a chance for billionaires to hang out with other billionaires without a bunch of fucking us plebes hanging around, fucking
taking pictures and shit.
Yeah, just hanging on their every word and every fucking thing they do. Maybe they just want a chance to get away. Like, I'm not an Alex Joneser or anything like that. I'm just saying that if it does exist, if it does exist, maybe it's not as supernatural as they make it out to
Right.
be. And for that reason, I don't like the name Illuminati. I could perfectly accept that there's a Bilderberg group or a Trilateral Commission or whatever, and that through normal, mundane, perfectly ordinary means that even you or I could accomplish.
Gotcha, man.
They-
we got it.
And so, like with Jake, going back to that, I guess, is, he thinks that they, because they may have lied to us about certain things, which they certainly have. We all can acknowledge that there are lies that they have told, that they have been caught in, that are legit lies, right? That therefore everything is a lie. So anything that they told us, up to and including anything that we were taught in school, is also a lie.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I get it. After you uncover the fact that they've lied to us about some things, and quite a few things, to be honest, that you should have a healthy skepticism of anything they tell you. But he's gone so far over the line that he's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. He's throwing away perfectly reasonable science that's been around for, a millennia, or however long, based on NASA. And it's like, well, NASA didn't make those discoveries. Newton, the Medici, all these other people that were science-minded people, Aristotle, all of them, there was no NASA back then. So what are you saying? That there was a secret NASA back then, maybe not called NASA because they didn't have airspace, or I don't fucking know, but you know what I mean? Like how do you rectify the fact that secret organization didn't exist back then? That we can look at, we know when the Bavarian Illuminati was actually around, what century, what years they were around before they got disbanded and
Right.
routed out. I mean,
We're about time. I think it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, I gotta
the facts.
I gotta get going. I got some stuff to do.
Oh, sorry.
Sure, you're right. You're right. But
so I think that he's just, he's taken his skepticism way farther than, say, we have. Or more to the point, I think a lot of us have gone that far and then pulled the reins back and gone, oh, that was silly.
Right.
Hollow Earth, what a silly thing to have thought might have been possible.